Yeah. 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 Bronx on the scene, nose to the ground, reads every scratch, every step, every sound. Dust on the boot, mud on the cuff, one wrong move and he calls you bluff. He found a lie in the turn of a face, found a fresh print in an empty place. Tail up high when the story won't blend, he don't bark loud, he just gets close. Dance, sniffing out facts, no room for slack. Truth in the crack, now we don't look back. Bronx tales, Bronx tales, Bronx tales. Chasing truth through the rails. Bronx tales, Bronx tales, Bronx tales. Corruption slips, then fails. Sniffing out facts, uncaging the truth. Corruption on a tight leash, and he's pulling it loose. Hey, hey. Idaho nights cold, over the floor. 4 names heavy in the whole town, so Bronx in the weeds where the silence stayed, digging for proof in the tracks it made. He found the gap in the masked up tail, found the bent clue in the buried trail. Bone white truth in the folder stack, one clean scent and the case swings back. Sniffing out facts, no room for slack. Truth in the crack, now we don't look back. Bronx tales, Bronx tales, Bronx tales. Chasing truth through the rails. Bronx tales, Bronx tales, Bronx tales. Corruption slips, then fails. Sniffing out facts, uncaging the truth. Corruption on a tight leash, and he's pulling it loose. One paw print, one torn thread, one false alibi, falls dead. Chasing truth through the rails. Bronx tales, Bronx tales, Bronx tales. Corruption slips, then fails. Sniffing out facts, uncaging the truth. Corruption on a tight leash, and he's pulling it loose.
Holy moly! Holy guacamole! What in the macaroons is going on today, you guys? I just ripped my earring out. Okay, got it. Oh my gosh. What a happy Monday, you guys. This is freaking sane. Yes. Definitely heard the news super early this morning. I was actually starting to watch the Lindsay Clancy trial. I don't know if you guys are aware of that case or following that case or just interested in the trial at all, but that's a really sad case out of Massachusetts. So I'm waiting for them to start. They got a 45-minute late start today, and today was the first day of that trial. So I'm kind of sitting here like, hello, I need something to listen to, and boom. Brian Kohberger's statement. What? Here's the thing, you guys. We have been saying for, 3 months? Something is coming. Something is coming. I thought it was either going to be Brian files an appeal or one piece of evidence that just blew it out of the water that he was not guilty, that it was somebody else or other people. So, here we are. So we need to start getting ready for a trial, right? This is how it should have been from the beginning, though. We should have had a trial from the beginning, especially the fact that when they gave him a plea deal, they didn't ask him to allocute, which is the oddest thing I have ever heard. Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. It's good to see you all here. This is just insanity. Absolutely insane. You know, I don't know if it was during a pre-recorded video that I made or if it was in a live video, but I remember saying right after the plea deal, they promised him something. They promised him something, and I want to know what it is. I know they promised him something. That's what they do. That's what the plea deal is all about. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. I want to know what they offered him because he makes it very, very clear in his statement today that it was, well, we'll just read it. And I'm sure you've heard it a million times today, but we are going to read it as well. Let me see. Did I not grab a Kleenex? Oh, goodness. Now I gotta dig for it. Oh, I think my nose is really running now. Let's see. Sorry, guys. I thought I had it pulled up already. Okay. Brian Kohberger's, well, I'll just read this little piece of article. It says the criminology student convicted last year of murdering 4 University of Idaho students in their home is seeking to abandon his guilty plea and obtain a trial, claiming he is innocent and was misled into confessing to the high-profile killings. I don't like that wording because he never confessed to anything ever. In an interview with the New York Times, so he had an actual interview and not just, I was under the impression that he wrote a statement and gave it to them or sent it to them. But it looks like he actually gave an interview. It says, in an interview with New York Times, Brian Kohberger, who is currently serving 4 life sentences, said he had filed a petition challenging his conviction, citing concerns about how the plea deal came together. And he says, and I quote, "My actual innocence is my truth, and the plea hinged on by false promises and blatant misinformation must be withdrawn." And it should have been. Thank you so much, sweetie. I appreciate you. Good vibes only. Absolutely. Thank you. Must be withdrawn. Absolutely. I just said it, and I just can't get over it. I want to know what they promised him, because it was enough for him to come back later and say, okay, look, I only took the plea deal because they promised me something. I'm not guilty, but I didn't see a way out of it. So those promises had to have been pretty strong promises. Thank you so much, On Topics. Always coming in strong with the super sticker at the beginning of the show. We appreciate you so much. And thank you for always being here as well. Thank you. I know, right? Ugh. You know what's crazy is it's one of those things that you're anticipating, but you don't know when it's going to happen. And you think that when it happens, when an announcement is made that's big in this case, you think you're going to be right on. I knew it. I knew it was coming today. No, I think we knew it was coming, but I think just today was kind of blindsiding for most of us. I personally thought it was going to be a little closer to the deadline of when he can appeal. So, let me finish reading this and then we'll chit chat about it. Mr. Kohberger said in a statement provided to the Times on Sunday night, he reiterated in a phone call from prison in Idaho that he had an absolute claim of innocence. Mr. Kohberger had not granted an interview or made public comments before speaking with the Times. He declined to discuss any evidence or other specific details related to his innocence claim, as well as the specific concerns he had about the plea process. It is rare for defendants to win post-conviction challenges. Okay, negative Nelly. Jeez. The family of Kaylee Gonsalves, one of the victims, said in a statement that Mr. Kohberger was like a mosquito you just can't seem to swat. Thank you so much. We've got 5 new members. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. It's good to see you as well. I haven't seen you in a few days. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome to our new members. Welcome to our canine crew, our paw family. Paw pals. Thank you so much, Conspiraling. Let's go, Burger. I love it. I love it. I love it. Hey, Curriculum. Good to see you. I don't know what. Okay, so Buffalo Chick sent 5 memberships as well earlier in the show, and it won't let me. Oh, here we go. It wasn't letting me show it. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, and thank you for being here. This is so exciting, you guys. This is so exciting. Like, this might make history. This might set a precedence in the courtroom. Possibly even when it comes to IGG or anything else they did in this case or didn't do. All right, it says the real tragedy is this. If even a fraction of the energy spent trying to free a guilty man were directed toward honoring the victims, there would be statues of them on every corner, parks bearing their names, and days set aside to remember the lives they lost at the hands of a narcissist. That was the statement from Steve G. It goes on to say, the Latah County Prosecutor's Office did not return a call seeking comment. Idaho Attorney General Raul Labrador released a statement saying his heart went out to the victims' families, noting they had already endured unimaginable loss and now must face today's deeply painful news. My office stands ready to do whatever is necessary to ensure justice is fully carried out. And all of these people can kick an entire boulder because they all, the whole lot of them, complained when the plea deal happened. This should have gone to trial. We needed a trial. All the evidence would have come out in trial, and now we won't get to see it, and yada, 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 on and on for weeks and weeks and weeks. Ha. And now you're saying he's a mosquito that you just can't seem to swat? You're getting literally exactly what you wanted. Exactly. Oh, yeah, ham and cheesies. Ham and cheesies. Yep, they made a statement. We'll go over it in, I guess let's go over it now. Let's just go over it now. I just find it so incredibly strange for somebody to call Brian Kohberger a narcissist. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I don't know. I don't care. That's not the point. The point is, you continually get what you want, what you want, what you want. But every time you get what you want, you complain about it and you have a problem with it. And it's just not good enough. I don't know. Put some effort into reading some documents and learning what happened to your daughter. Akadoke. Akadoke. Okadoke. Okay. I would like to make this bigger. Okay. This is from the Gonsalves family page. It was written about 2 hours ago. It says, first off, we are not surprised. Even though Bill Thompson said with the plea deal, all appeals would be waived. We knew that wasn't factual. Anyway, his time to appeal was running out, September to be exact. This is the Gonsalves family statement. The mosquito you just can't seem to swat. That is what Kohberger and his following have become to this family. We read Mr. Baker's story, and he must be so proud of himself for speaking with Mr. Kohberger, because the story didn't have much else in it, other than a guilty man claiming he's innocent once again. Nothing in the story or in Kohberger's statement does he allude to the fact that he did not knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently admit to murdering the 4 victims of this tragedy. Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, and Ethan. Quite to the contrary, he appeared in court in a hearing in front of a judge with his 4 lawyers. He did this after deciding not to leave his fate and the facts of the case up to a jury to decide his guilt. He never cried wolf or claimed he was uninformed, pressured, or that there were issues with the discovery that he and his counsel had for 2 years. Did he though? Did he though? That was the whole problem, Christy. And I know it's Christy writing this. That was the whole problem, is because the whole defense couldn't get what they needed. They couldn't get discoveries. What was it? 24 motions in limine? Stop. You cannot sit here and say, hello, Mad Dog, good to see you. Yes. Timu ER patient? That's hilarious. Timu says, I'm kind of scared for him. I read his affidavit and he's claiming ineffective assistance of counsel, and his counsel wasn't honest with him. He's currently pro se. I did hear he was going to be representing himself with the possible help of somebody else. We'll get into all that in just a second. I do want to finish reading their statement and not get too sidetracked. But yeah, the problem with them going to trial was the fact that they continued to ask for more time and couldn't get it. They didn't have all of the discoveries. There was a leak of information which would have tainted a jury pool, and so on and so on, and still couldn't get 30 minutes of extra time. So no, they didn't have the discovery for 2 years. But again, if they would take the time to read documents, they would know that. He admitted to guilt and asked whether he actually was guilty. He said, yes, he did, but that's because you have to. If he would have said, I like bacon, the plea deal would have been off the table. You can't just say whatever you want. You have to abide by those absolutes in the plea deal. If it said you have to say yes, then you have to say yes, period. And not only that, but you have to sound like you mean it as well. Because if you aren't convincing the judge that you're doing it on your own free will, the judge will not accept it. It goes on to say, I'm sure there will be a hearing, as that is how the legal process works, and the defendant will get another day in court. A nice break from his solitary confinement, getting to go for a ride, maybe some different food, photos taken, and the attention all back on him and his innocence. The real issue is that if as much energy was put into honoring the victims in this case as trying to get a guilty man free, there would be statues of the victims on every corner with parks and days honoring their ultimate sacrifice, their lives at the hands of a narcissist. Regardless of how this turns out, our family is 100% ready. An actual trial this time? Let's go. We are confident he will get the death penalty that he escaped by pleading guilty the first time around. Just an absolute waste of time and taxpayers' money. It's a disgrace. So we are moving on. I guess I better get me a Death Row Records shirt for every day of the week now. Well, we're going to look at some comments. What do you guys think about this? Do you think the G's are going to reopen their GoFundMe so they have funds to go to the trial now? How soon is this trial going to happen? My problem with this and with Brian Kohberger being in solitary confinement and wanting to defend himself pro se, meaning by himself alone. I guess they can compare this to Bundy too, can't they? I mean, it's really difficult to defend yourself from behind bars. You know, things take weeks and weeks and weeks to get to you. You can't move around like you need to. If you need to go to the library, you can only do that on certain days and certain times. You don't have access to all the things that people have in the free world. I don't think it's wise of him to represent himself. And the mere reason I think that is because he doesn't have the ability to move around the free world and gather information like the rest of us do. It's not that he's not capable. It's the fact that you're behind bars. It is incredibly difficult to get things to a prisoner that is especially in solitary confinement. I mean, if something happens in the prison and they're locked down for 2 weeks, that's 2 weeks that he doesn't get to get information, study, plan, anything. It's not a good idea. It's just not. There's so many people out there that would be excellent lawyers for him. I wish there was a way to get him one. I do. I really do. I've been thinking all day about reaching out to the family again. Last time I didn't put like my return address or phone number or anything like that. And I probably still won't put my phone number, but I'm thinking about reaching out to them again. Maybe including some tips and tricks and specific pieces of evidence that I think favor him. Things like that. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. But let's go through some of these comments, though. This one says, please tell me Bill Thompson retired. Lisa, our legal system is really broken. They better not do another trial. People are so ill-informed. It baffles me how people get online and go, grown people, get online and go under a post and post something that proves they have absolutely no knowledge on something. Why are you commenting on something that you don't have any knowledge about? She said another trial. There was never a trial, you dingbat. Firing squad, let's go. Heather says, the second I saw this news, I instantly thought of you and your family. I hate that you all have to continue to go through this, but is this maybe a blessing in disguise? There may now actually be a trial. I feel like the families deserve a trial, and for him to actually be found guilty and get the death penalty back on the table. He got it so easy the first time, just pleading out. I don't know why people think pleading is easy. That's still not an easy thing to do. Anybody who says Oh, prison's so easy. You get a free bed, a free roof, a TV, and free food. Has never been to jail or prison because that is hell on earth. Hell on earth. This one says, I definitely think he's trying to toy with all the families and their emotions, and he thinks he's above everything and everyone with his college education and criminal law. He's definitely testing the waters of what his so-called rights are. I think just to see what he can do with no regards to anyone but him being relevant still. But that does not shock me. Thank you so much. Has there been an official press release from Murder Has a Name yet? Will the hair in Eric Chapin's hand be tested? Also, Kathy's Indie Zone posted on her YouTube community tab that Brian Kohberger motioned for counsel. Interesting. I surely hope he does get counsel. I think that would be a bad move. Thank you so much, Kawanda, and it's good to see you, my love. I read somewhere that they did test some hair and it came back to Ethan's very own hair, but I don't think they tested all the hair. It would be nice to see the blood mixed with the victim's blood on the back of the knife sheath. Test it. Test everything. But here's the thing. If Brian Kohberger does this pro se, how will he afford any of this? He won't be able to afford sending stuff off to get tested. How does he even do that from behind bars? Yeah, you'd have to have probably a power of attorney and they can do everything for you. I just feel like that's a lot of hands in the cookie jar. I mean, that's a lot of stuff going on. And it going back in front of Hitler, I mean, that's scary. That's scary. Because Hitler was the one who said, DNA is DNA every day of the week and twice on Sundays. We all know that's not how DNA works. The amount matters. It matters. Like, that's just as important as the DNA itself. Also, he literally said that certain people couldn't be looked at on committing this crime because they didn't drive a white car. He should not be able to be a judge. He's that close-minded, and that is terrifying. It really makes me wonder how many people under his judgment have been sent to prison that really didn't do it or didn't deserve that much time or something. But because Hitler surely is close-minded, yeah. I hope so. I think there will be two for sure. It's just getting a correct place, one place, and then making sure everything goes to the correct place as well. Oh, absolutely. Hitler almost seemed like he was part of the prosecution. Hitler was an arm of the prosecution, not impartial at all. Not even close. Absolutely. I mean, I know this would be an appellate thing. I'm saying I hope Hitler doesn't get to be a judge at all in anything. Oh, sorry. I think he did mostly medical corporate cases, but maybe I'm wrong. Oh, interesting. I mean, that would honestly make sense in a way, but I don't know. I don't know. No, Hitler is not going to be the judge. It would have to be like an appellate judge. Hitler won't, but I don't think Hitler should be able to be on any cases at all. Just those two statements he made. And then on top of that, we'll make it 3. Calling Cyree a conspiracy theorist? Wild. Wild. That's really cool. A channel I watched earlier said they and their followers would give what is that, 5 pounds? They have thousands of followers. That's so cool. Ham and Cheese says, I wonder if they had to do this because they know there would be riots and such if he accidentally was taken out as Steve G tried to drop. That's an interesting angle. That's a very interesting angle. And that is because here's my thoughts. So earlier today, Jeffrey Gentry messaged me and he said, unfortunately, if there is corruption and if there is a cover up here and Brian Kohberger walks from this, he's going to be killed. He's going to be unalived very quickly. And in that moment, I hadn't thought of that yet. Like, oh, what if this is, a cover up, like from elites somewhere in Idaho that, whatever, or law enforcement or whatever. They will never leave him alone if he walks on this and gets to go home or back to schooling or just back to his regular everyday life. If anything he does reveals the corruption and cover up, he's going to have a hard time coming back in the free world because he'll have a target on his back. He would have to go into WITSEC. If he would have to. Scary. It is. It is scary. Not if they catch the correct killers. Well, if it's a cover-up, they're protecting the correct killers. Like, let's just say Bob Smith is the mastermind and wanted these 4 gone for whatever reason. He has to see them every time he looks out his window. He hates it. Do away with them. And he hires 4 people. Hey, I'll give you X amount of money, or I'll give you the rest of your schooling is free, whatever it is. And those 4 people go and do the deed. And then those 4 people get caught and exposed and finally go to prison. You still got Bob Smith out here, who has the means and the motive. So if Brian Kohberger outs anybody or any situation, which I feel like there's something coming about that, I think he's going to have some interesting tidbits to reveal in court. That's for sure. Bob Smith would be the one to go after Brian Kohberger, not the people who did it. The higher-ups. Thank you so much, Witchy. 100% against GoFundMe. TOS to use for legal costs. I don't use GoFundMe. I've literally never used it. I've never had one. I don't know even like how it works, how the payout, I don't understand because I've never looked it up. So I don't know. I just hope we can all come together as a community. And that's another thing I want to say. I firmly believe, without a sliver of a doubt in my mind, this is only happening because of the armchair detective YouTubers that started reporting on this case from day one, and to this day have not stopped or given up or taken a break or anything. The YouTubers that have been on this case since day one, that have brought the pressure day in and day out, month after week after week, I firmly believe that if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be in this position right now. I don't think Brian Kohberger would know that he has a whole community out here that thinks that there were other people involved. But I give it up to the YouTubers that have been reporting on this case and making content on this case from day one, because they made the case stay relevant. Had everybody just been like, oh, plea deal, boo, boring, nothing to look into now, it's over. Had it stopped there, I don't think Brian Kohberger would be making an appeal. I don't. I firmly believe it is because of the YouTubers on the case from day one that made him confident, I think. Confident enough to make a plea or make an appeal. I surely do. Not only should they start with them or bring them in a really opportune time to make them look dishonest, right? Not only that, but both of them should have to come and sit in that courtroom in person. No Zoom. And they should allow cameras in the courtroom so it can be streamed. Yes. Lana did do, she filed an intervention on, yeah, she did. I think she recently, it was either her last episode or the episode before that, she read it all out loud and everything she filed and everything. Hi, Miss Tara. Good to see you. Absolutely. And I'm not just stopping at the YouTubers that have been bringing content on this case from day one. It's literally every one of you guys. Every one of you. Every single one of you that feel like Jules does, like Lana does, like Pav does, like I do as well, but I just haven't been on. Hold on. I've been digging into this case since the day it happened. I just haven't been on YouTube that long. But yes, we wouldn't have a community if it wasn't for you guys. Brian Kohberger wouldn't be able to see that he has people standing behind him or next to him if it wasn't for you guys. If you guys didn't watch the content and make it relevant, I don't think we'd be here today. I just didn't expect this to happen today. I don't know why. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. Thank you, Casper. Like the saying goes, be careful what you ask for, because you just might get it. I just don't understand why. I don't understand why the G's. This should have gone to trial. This should have gone to trial. Now you're getting one and you have a problem with it. I don't understand that. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's the biggest deal in filing the appeal. It is to preserve our rights. You can't have somebody take a plea deal on false promises and then also say, and you can't file an appeal on that either. We're going to promise you something, which is the reason you're taking this deal, because of what we've decided to promise you. But in hindsight, when we don't deliver that promise, you can't back out of it. That's not right. That's not right. Brian Kohberger held up his deal. He's sitting in prison. So the prosecution needs to hold up their deal as well. I'm very curious. Very curious. I wonder how Dylan feels today. Isn't it wild how certain things can change the course of everything in a split second when you least expect it? Crazy. It's just crazy. What will Bethany paint next? That's such a good question. Thank you so much, Bianca. So sweet. So sweet. I appreciate you so very much. You know, I'm curious now. My nose is running. I'm curious now if so does that halt all of our FOIAs? And I mean, it shouldn't halt our FOIAs. I've submitted so many FOIAs. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. I FOIA'd the questionnaires. Remember in one of the interviews, I think it was Pete's interview, they said something about you filled out the questionnaire for FBI, blah, blah, whatever. I was denied for privacy reasons. We can't see their questionnaire. Why? What's on it? What's on it? You can't give me a questionnaire that's filled out by a person of interest? What? What the heck? I will not stop. I will not stop. And then when we get there, because it's going to be a while before we get there, but when we get there, if they find Brian Kohberger guilty, there's something going on. There's something going on, because there's no way that somebody could find it. There's too much reasonable doubt. Way too much of it. Way too much. And I'm wondering if he can get the DNA thrown out. He should argue that. It's crazy because I was watching the first day, the opening statements and stuff of the Lindsay Clancy trial in Massachusetts, where she was really struggling with mental health. They were taking her off, putting her on, taking her off, putting her on different medicines, back to back to back to back, that like 17 of them. And she kept saying, I'm having bad thoughts. I'm having thoughts of hurting my kids. There's something wrong. I need help. And she kept going to the doctor, reaching out for help, reaching, asking for help, asking for babysitters. She had 3 kids, 5, 3, and 8 months. And she was in psychosis. Oh, and she wasn't sleeping at all. And they believe she went into psychosis and she unalived her 3 kids. But then after she did that, she tried to take her own life, and now she's paralyzed from the neck down for the rest of her life. So I was tuning into that trial, and I was watching the chat go by, and there are an abundance of misinformed people on Brian Kohberger. Anybody who's misinformed on the Kohberger case, they seem to be the loudest in chat. Like, you don't even know what you're talking about. That's not even true. But you're in here as a grown adult speaking on something that you are not educated on and spreading false information. And that's how it happens. because then people back to back to back saying the same thing about Ryan Kohberger. I'm in there trying to correct them. Like, no, that's in document da 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 da. No, that's not true. So annoying. Misinformed is an epidemic or bots. Something like that. Crazy, crazy. Okay. I'll get out of this. I want to share a couple things before we get into earthing. Okay. Let's add this. This one. I just want to make sure everybody has seen this. This is David B. Baraco. I don't know how to say his name. They call him Barry. I just want to play this because I think it's important. Where his headspace is. And I'm curious where his headspace is going to land the closer we get to the trial now. Oh, sorry. Hold on.
Let's see. Fuck Erica Kirk. Fuck Sigma Chi. Fuck basically every single person I met in Moscow. Fuck myself too. Fuck my life, definitely. I'm unemployed, depressed, don't have a fucking job still. So yeah, fuck you. Yeah. Let's see. Fuck.
Can we play it again? Let's play it one more time.
Let's see. Fuck Erica Kirk. Fuck Sigma Chi. Fuck basically every single person I met in Moscow. Fuck myself too. Fuck my life, definitely. I'm unemployed, depressed, don't have a fucking job still. So yeah, fuck you. Yeah. Let's see. Fuck.
Interesting. So that's David Barry. I wonder why he's saying F Sigma Chi. F Sigma Chi. F Erica Kirk. I mean, I'm with him on that one, but what's going on with I mean, why is Sigma Chi in his mind? He is far removed from college. So what is it about Sigma Chi that he's upset at how many years later that he hasn't been in a frat? What? Who is Erica Kirk? Charlie Kirk, his wife, who's the biggest faker, liar. She's the biggest grifter in the world. Charlie Kirk was shot in the neck, supposedly, allegedly, during a speech or a debate type thing. He was pretty influential in a lot of areas, like human rights and things like that, trying to get people to open their eyes on his view of things, and he thinks his view is the correct view. But Erica Kirk is his wife, and yeah, she's weird. She is strange. Okay. Let's get out of this. And then, not that one. Okay. This one. Good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Not that one, but this one. Okay, perfect. We're all lined up. Okay. What I want to do first is go over Sophia Whitehead's interview, and I have not seen or heard this one yet. So any reaction you're getting from me is raw and honest and true and real and in the moment. I have not listened to this, not a second of it. I was saving it so we could have a real reaction. So I want to do the Sophia Whitehead interview. I know we're starting it much later than I expected, but that's okay. Um, I can do that. I can do that. I have a request to read Brian Kohberger's statement before we get started on this. Perfectly fine with me. I should have done that anyway. Okay. Brian Kohberger's statement. This was provided in an interview to the New York Times. Brian Kohberger says, over a year later, it is self-evident that in State versus Kohberger, justice was not served. Unanswered questions seem to multiply with each piece of discovery unsealed. And the public demands the truth. Unfortunately, the truth shall never be derived from the state's myopic narrative, a work of fiction which has yet to evolve since the PCA was released nearly 4 years ago, and its faulty premises were never challenged at trial. Circumnavigated by a broken plea, the trial never provided the public the clarity conducive to closure, and justice shall remain abjectly miscarried unless that plea is withdrawn. I hereby declare my intention to enter a not guilty plea and welcome the state the opportunity to prove their case at trial, as well as to, again, file for the death penalty. My actual innocence is my truth, and the plea, hinged on by false promises and blatant disinformation, must be withdrawn. Thank you for all who believe in my innocence and continue to critically analyze the case. I send my love to my family who have never wavered in their belief in who I am, their belief in my innocence. I'm glad he put that about his family because there's a lot of people, including Lynn Jeans, who want to say things like Brian Kohberger's own family isn't standing behind him. Yes, they are. They're just not as obnoxious and loud as you are. People can do things silently. Hey, Moto, good to see you. The Chains will be forced to remember that they were triplets once. I think that's so sad. So sad. Thank you, Emmer. I think they're asking you to read his handwritten document. I think Jules posted it in her community post. Yes, yes, yes. Sorry, I thought you meant the statement this morning. Let me grab. Grabbing. Grabbing. Oh, wrong button. All right. There's a couple of documents. Oh, I hope our kitty is okay. Okay. Here we go. This is the document for post-conviction relief. And y'all, this is crazy because the man truly cannot even hold a pencil. I mean, and think about this. You know, this is his absolute best handwriting because it's for court. And this is awful. Awful. Ugh, just terrible handwriting. Okay, so this is Brian Kohberger, his IDOC number, the address of the jail he's in. Place of detention is Idaho Maximum Security Institution in the county of Ada. Case number for 4 counts of capital murder, felony burglary. The date of his sentence was July 23rd, 2025. And the terms of his sentence are life without parole plus 10 years. Check whether a finding of guilty was made after a plea. Guilty? Did you appeal the judgment of conviction or the imposition of sentence? No. He checked no. State concisely all the grounds on which you base your application for post-conviction relief. And he says, ineffective assistance of counsel during criminal proceedings. Plea not knowingly or voluntarily entered because it was induced by unkept promises. Plea not voluntarily entered because of threats asserted by petitioner's legal counsel. Wow, threats by the prosecution? Interesting. That's crazy. Unless he's saying that he's the petitioner, so it would be his own legal counsel. Yeah. So his own legal counsel threatened him? Wow. That's yeah. That's crazy. That is so crazy. That is so unacceptable. It's not even funny. When you are fighting a charge in the court system, I don't care if it's stealing bubble gum or quadruple murder. When you're fighting something in court, that is, I don't even have the words to put to it. It's so, you feel like you're deteriorating slowly from the inside out, starting with your brain. It's the most stressful thing you will ever go through. You feel more alone than you've ever felt in your whole life. Every day you go to court, or every time you go to court, every time your phone rings, you know that whoever you're speaking to, whoever you're around, even the judge, they're going to tell you you're the worst person in the world. You're a shit person. You did this. Whatever. You are not treated like you're innocent until proven guilty. That is not how it works. It's just a horrific time. So to be threatened into a plea deal by the people that were supposed to protect you or be on your side and defend you is really sad. It's really sad. I couldn't imagine what he felt like. And we've all heard that he pretty much started to give up on his own defense about 2 weeks prior to the plea. And I'm very curious if this is why. I wonder if he said, I'm done. Like, I'm over it. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Because trust me, you get to that point where you're like, I can no longer go forward. Like, I cannot be alive anymore. Like this, I don't want to, if I have to be alive and still go through this, I don't want to be alive anymore. This is awful. To have those feelings and then sit there and be threatened by your own people, your own team. Oh my gosh. How alone would you feel? That's awful. Will he go into details why he took it? I don't know. I mean, I would assume, yeah. Something would have to be proven, I would think. He's got to prove what was ineffective, doesn't he? Or is it... I would think he would have to show his work on why he's saying that they were ineffective. I'm sure this is part of it. Him saying... they didn't keep their end of the deal. And also my own team threatened me into taking a plea. And after fighting for so long, if my team threatened me to take a plea, I would probably take it as well, just for it all to stop. Stop. Go away. I can't do this anymore. It's mentally draining. Emotionally draining. Okay, so we'll keep going. It says, if your application is based upon the failure of counsel to adequately represent you, state concisely and in detail what counsel failed to do in representing your interests. A. Brian Kohberger says, they failed to disclose of or review exculpatory evidence. He says, like the unknown hair in Chapin's hand during plea discussions. B, counsel's insistence that he takes a plea Okay, so his exact wording is counsel's insistence that petitioner's plea need not be truthful, despite petitioner's denial of actual guilt. You have got to be kidding me. So this whole time he's been saying, I didn't do it. I did not do this. I did not do this. And Ann Taylor and team is saying, just lie. Just go up there and lie. Take the plea deal. Say you did it. Lie. And everything's Gucci. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I can't believe it. I mean, I can. That's the thing. So they're literally saying, go into the courtroom, swear under oath, and lie. Okay, Ann Taylor and co. How many times have you guys done that in court then? Unbelievable. Believable. He said that there were promises made by counsel regarding LWAP status. For example, he was supposed to get immediate contact visits. And when you're in jail or prison, those are so crucial, so very important. It's basically the only thing you get is a contact visit. That matters to a lot of people. Me, I'm like, don't touch me. But he was promised freedom of movement. I'm sure he wants to be in a prison in Pennsylvania so he can be closer to his family, so his family can visit him. He didn't get that. Audit AT's trial expenses. Bingo, bango. Yeah, that I'm going to be working on that. I'm very curious now. Very curious now. So he said they promised him movement. They did not give him that. They promised him employment. They did not give him that. And elaborate lies of death row life. Okay, so they lied to him about what his life would look like on death row, and they made it sound like so horrific that it would make him take a plea deal so he didn't go to death row. And actually, death row life is much more cushy in many aspects than just being in there for life without parole. Death row inmates, I know in a lot of states, I don't know if it's every state, but usually you get your own cell. I think you get more time, like, doing yard stuff and like extracurricular stuff. There's I'd have to look it up, but there's several things that are better on death row than in general population for a life sentence. They ask, are you seeking leave to proceed in forma? I don't know that word. That is requesting the proceeding be at county expense. If your answer is yes, you must fill out a motion and affidavit for a fee waiver. He said yes. Okay, that's good. Wait a minute. So that means that if he were to say, I want this hair to be tested, which, y'all, if he's wanting this hair to be tested, he obviously knows it's not his. We know it's not his. We know it was compared to his hair and it's not his. But he also knows it's not his. He's confident with that. So the county would have to pay for all of this. That would be very, very expensive for the county to have to pay for everything. Are you requesting the appointment of counsel to represent you in this case? If your answer is yes, you must fill out a motion for the appointment of counsel and support affidavit as well as a motion and affidavit fee waiver. Yes. So he does want counsel. Y'all, he cannot get a freaking... He needs an actual paid attorney. This isn't going to go anywhere if he gets another state-appointed lawyer. Their job is to do the bare minimum for you. Their job is to show up, file things, act like you're innocent, and do the bare minimum. Which is crazy that in this case, Ann Taylor couldn't even do the bare minimum. She asked repeatedly for discovery that she never got. Even defense experts were writing in their expert reports, well, I couldn't do everything I needed to do because they won't give us the information. Number 12 says, state specifically the relief you seek. And he said, a withdrawal of a guilty plea. And he signed it the 22nd day of July, 5 days ago. There you go, Brian Christopher Kohberger. And then he signed it. And then Bill Thompson and Ashley Jennings signed it. Oh, Bill Thompson. If he's going to have to prosecute, he's going to have a hard time. Because he hasn't been to trial in what, ever? All right. Brian Kohberger writes, Brian C. Kohberger, being first duly sworn on oath, deposes and says, it is hereby declared that during attorney-client discussions, most of which included all members of Brian Kohberger's immediate family, I was convinced to falsely confess to capital murder and felony burglary by coercion, disinformation, false promises, and the withholding of exculpatory discovery. The following is material to the inception of the plea. Counsel's failure to inform petitioner of exculpatory discovery received during plea discussions, namely clumps of unknown hair found in Ethan Chapin's hands, as well as a failure of further inquiry. I was convinced that actual guilt was not an important factor in considering plea acceptance. Death row was imminent and advised to lie. I was to gain a legal victory in entering a false plea. They told him he would have a victory by giving a false plea. Unbelievable. Bianca, thank you so much. We've got 5 new K9 crew members. That is totally awesome. Thank you so much, babe. We appreciate you so much. And thank you for always being here. And it makes me sick that the Gonsalves family are, like, in a sense, kind of shaming the whole autism thing. Don't like it. Yeah, exactly. How is that even a victory? Juror number 13 says, what does that mean? A victory by saying you're guilty? What the hell? I mean, that's almost like saying, oh, that's a good question. Will this delay the family's WSU $400 million lawsuit? You know what I said when we heard of the WSU lawsuit? I said in a live, how cool would it be if WSU took it upon themselves to prove Brian Kohberger innocent and test all the things that weren't tested so they don't have to pay it, instead of admitting his guilt and trying to defend themselves on it in a different direction, for them to just prove Brian Kohberger innocent and then they don't have to pay it, right? Because then he didn't do it, so what are you suing me for? And I feel like that's possibly what's going to happen now. Not WSU, but Brian Kohberger doing it himself. If he's found not guilty, then WSU can't be sued for anything because he didn't do anything. So I would say if I was them, I would put it on hold. They might have to. Yep. 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 Yes, yes, yes. So he says they convinced him that pleading guilty would be a victory for him. You guys have to put it into perspective. We all do, too. Um, he's in a cell 24/7. Please know when you're in a cell 24/7, uh, you really get taken over by your own thoughts. You don't have anybody to talk to. There's nothing to do. I mean, you can only read so much. You can only, whatever. It's very lonely. And that's where a lot of people do develop mental health issues, especially because he's in solitary confinement. That's a horrible place to be. And your brain starts to kind of get away from you a little bit. So to be hearing from somebody that you could obtain a victory just by saying I did it, what a great thing. I can have a victory. You start to like do that. It's not right. That that's not a victory. But hearing somebody say the word victory to you when you're in solitary confinement and you barely get to speak to anybody, you don't get to see anybody, that would feel good. That would feel good. Thank you so much, Jared 13. You are so appreciated. Hope Bronx Baby is doing good. We're trying. We're trying. His lymph nodes are so swollen. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Yeah, he's got to get into a specialist. Same thing they did to that Richard Allen guy. Exactly. Well, and with Richard Allen, they put him on medication. And I want to talk about that for a second as well, because that's a big part of the Lindsay Clancy trial as well. I'll give a little self-disclosure here. When it comes to medication and mental health, when I was 20 years old, I was married, and I got pregnant with my first pregnancy, my first child, my family's first grandchild, all of that. And my son passed away, and I gave preterm birth to him. I was really struggling mentally. I was paranoid. I was terrified. I couldn't sleep. I would hide. I was just going through it mentally. My doctor put me on a medication, and I've never like naturally had depression or any mental health issues. It was just situational. Obviously, I'm trying to cope with my hormones adjusting. My son is dead. The person I was married to turned into a very severe alcoholic because his son is dead. Just a lot of stuff going on. I felt like I lost my husband at the time. About 6 months later, I divorced him anyway because of the drinking. But anyways, they put me on a medication that was supposed to be helpful in coping with situational paranoia or depression or whatever. And when I tell you this medication was the worst thing that I could have ever put in my body. And it builds up, right? You take it every day. It builds and builds and builds. So when you go off of it, it takes time for it to deplete in your body. When I tell you that I can see why people, maybe unalive people while they're on medication and going through a psychosis and things, I get it. I was so paranoid. I was putting layers upon layers upon layers over my windows. And I mean, I had this feeling of doom every day that everybody was going to die. There was going to be this it was just really bad. But as soon as I went off the medication, which was about 2 weeks, I was perfectly fine. It was the medication that was sending me into psychosis. So I, of all people, understand what Richard Allen is going through. They were giving him medications in prison that were making him be in a psychosis. If you get the wrong medication, it's just as bad as it's probably worse than having, a natural psychosis. So I believe that Lindsay Clancy was going through this same thing or something very similar. And then she went into a psychosis and unalived her 3 children. But yeah, and it makes me wonder, what medications was Brian Kohberger taking? What medications are they giving him? Has it maybe taken this long for him to file something because he was on a wrong medication in there and they needed to adjust it, and now he's got the fight in him or his energy back? Or did he just naturally stop taking it and hiding the medication? We don't know. We don't know. But y'all, if you get the wrong medication, that is so detrimental. Absolutely. And what's crazy is, like, my best friend takes the medication they gave me, and that works for her, and that's great for her. For me, that was the worst thing that I could have ever done in that moment. There was no reality. It was delusion, straight delusions. I was incapable of anything. Like, it was bad. It was really bad. I literally was like seeing ninjas outside in the trees, thinking they were here to kill me. Like, people do things. People do bad things. People do good things. People do things differently when you're on a medication that's you shouldn't be on, that just doesn't mesh well with you. And I'll tell you, the medication was Wellbutrin. It was Wellbutrin. It's a very common medication, especially for women. And yeah, not me. I've had the same thing happen to me with an SNRI. Apparently no one knew I did not need more norepinephrine. Terrible. It happens so quick. So quick. You get some medication, or they add a medication on stuff that's already working for you. They add something else. Nope. I'm terrified. That's why I have ADHD, and I have, obviously, I think we all have anxiety, honestly. The way I deal with my anxiety or ADHD now is I take Advil PM during the day, because that little bit of PM sleep medication calms me down enough to just be normal. And that's how I deal with it. And I don't take it every day. I don't. I actually haven't taken it in a while. So yeah. All right, let's keep reading here. A gross misrepresentation of and promises regarding what a life sentence would immediately afford the petitioner, and a gross misrepresentation of death row in Idaho, including an elaborate fabricated story of counsel's horrific experience touring an actual 8x8 death row cell, all communicated to the petitioner and his family, allegedly by IDOC through counsel, thus constituting threats and promises made to induce a plea agreement. So they're in there telling him these horrific stories of death row. Horrific stories of death row. And so he's thinking, I'll probably just take a plea so I don't have to be on death row. And here is the envelope or whatever it is. The envelope. Affidavit of facts in support of post-conviction petition. Okay. So that's the first document. Then we have the motion and affidavit in support for appointment of counsel. We'll read this one. Comes now Brian C. Kohberger, plaintiff or defendant, he's defendant, in the above entitled matter and moves this honorable court to grant the defendant's motion for appointment of counsel for the reasons more fully set forth herein and in the affidavit in support of motion for appointment of counsel. Plaintiff or defendant is currently incarcerated with the Idaho Department of Corrections under the direct care, custody, and control of Warden D. Governor. The warden's name is Governor? That's insane. That's crazy. On topics with the super sticker. $9.99. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Really, really appreciate you. Oh my gosh, you guys. In the Lindsay Clancy trial, they have the thickest Boston accents. I was like, holy cow. I mean, it was thick. Thick. THICC thick. I was not expecting it. And then I started talking like that to myself all morning, and it was just really entertaining today. Oh my God. It says corrections under the direct care, custody, and control of Warden D. Governor, Warden of the Idaho Maximum Security Institution. The issues to be presented in this case may become too complex for the defendant to properly pursue. Defendant lacks the knowledge and skill needed to represent himself. The defendant required assistance completing these pleadings as he was unable to do it himself. I am the affiant in the above entitled case. I am currently residing at the IDOC under the care of Warden Governor. I am indigent and did not have any funds to hire private counsel. I am without bank accounts, stocks, bonds, real estate, or any other form of real property. I am unable to provide any other form of security. I am untrained in the law. If I am forced to proceed without counsel being appointed, I will be unfairly handicapped in competing with trained and competent counsel of the state. Further, your affiant saith naught. Oh, that's so funny. Wherefore, defendant respectfully prays that his honorable court issue its order granting defendant's motion for appointment of counsel to represent his interest, or in the alternative, grant any such relief to which it may appear the defendant is entitled to. Everybody signed it. Bill Thompson, Ashley Jennings, Brian Christopher Kohberger. And then we've got motion and affidavit in support for appointment of counsel again. Nope, it's the same thing. It is the same thing. Yeah, it's the same thing. Crazy. Chillin says, can anyone tell me how one goes about getting a PhD when your spelling and penmanship equals that of a third grader? I think Brian is innocent of this, but I don't know how the hell he got a PhD. I would say that most of his stuff is probably typed out. That's my guess. That's my guess, because dude truly cannot hold a pencil. This fruit fly, y'all, I can't handle it anymore. thought I killed it earlier. I don't understand why we can't take up donations and put them all together and find him attorneys. I'm sure we could. I wouldn't want to be responsible for those funds, honestly, because, you know, somebody's going to complain somewhere about something, and I don't need that drama in my life. But the council would also need to continually be paid. So you've got the retainer, right, which would be like, I want to say like a Jose Bias. The deposit is something crazy, like $100,000 or $500,000 or something like that, just to retain him. That's just the initial fee. It's like a deposit. And then you continually have to pay them. And could we continue to do that for him? Or would we fall short and then he has no counsel and all that money's wasted? That's what I'm afraid of. Doctors' handwriting are the worst. You are absolutely correct. Yeah, I've heard Mabbit as well, and I surely hope not. I still think corruption runs deep in the system. I do too. And if that comes out, I pray for his life, because if he reveals corruption that they don't want revealed, obviously they don't want corruption revealed at all, but if he reveals it, he's going to have to watch the way he moves and carry protection. And it would be amazing if someone who in practice in Idaho would step up and do it pro bono, considering all he's already been through. That'd be a lot of work too, though, pro bono. It'd be a lot of work. I can see somebody doing it. What I'm going to do is we're going to skip Sophia Whitehead's interview today, and we'll save it for maybe later in the week, because we're already at like an hour and a half. But I do want to take a look at Jenna McClure's first interview. It's very short. I think we need to look at Jenna a little bit deeper. So let's listen to Jenna McClure's interview real quick.
I'm not shy. Right after school. Listen, please. All right. So what's your first name? What's your middle initial? And what's your last name? Okay. What's your date of birth?
2003.
And what's a good phone number for you? And what's a good address for you? Okay. So what do you know?
So I texted back this morning when I woke up to ask her to, I just asked her if she was awake because I wanted to call her something, and she called me about an hour later and said, hey, like we're kind of being like in my room right now, like the rest of our roommates aren't answering, they're just kind of freaked out, and I heard them on the phone in the background, like talking to someone saying like I saw somebody or something, and I just didn't know what was going on, and I was like, okay, that's weird, like I'm concerned for you guys, like do you guys want me to come pick you up? And she was like, honestly, yeah, like can you just come over? And I was like, sure. And I was driving there and she texted me and said also on the way just to check things out.
Yeah.
And then right when I pulled up, I'm pretty sure I rolled in right as the police were behind me.
Okay.
So I parked to the side and like kind of near, like in front of the house, and then more police came.
What time did you?
That she was awake, or
Yeah.
that was kind of,
Yeah, first time you texted her.
I texted her, "You awake?" at 11:20.
Was it using just Messenger?
It was my message.
Okay. It's two people that are actually using the native text. Thank you.
Yes, that's
Thank you. And then what time did she reply?
I'm trying to see the time that she called me.
I think you slide it to the left. Try to slide it to the short.
Okay, so she called me at 11:49.
Okay.
So that was when we were talking.
And that's when she said, hey, yeah, I want you to come get me.
Yeah, actually, she like was like, "Hold on one sec," and hung up before she asked to come get me.
Okay.
And then she texted me at 11:15 and said, "1 sec," and then at the same time I said, "You guys want me to come get you?" And then she said yes.
Did you attend the party last night at all? Yes.
No.
Okay.
I was at a different party, and I actually came over to that party like later in the night. With me to that one point too.
Okay.
She was, but they both ended up at my party at some point.
So did you leave the party before or after that you were party?
My party, I was there the whole time. She left before me.
What time did you leave roughly?
Let me look. I can also tell you because she was also there. I'd say around 1 a.m.
Okay.
Thank you, True to It. We love you.
Left at like 12:30. Yeah, it was like 12:30. And I was actually about to leave with her, and then I decided to stay.
Okay.
And I knew she was going home.
Sure. So the time that left, didn't hear anything from anybody? Okay.
No, she just came up to me and she was like, "Hey, I'm gonna leave." And then I had to go back and she left.
So obviously you know, or,
Yes.
yeah. Do you know Maddie and
Yes.
all them?
Yes.
Are you in a sorority?
I'm with Dylan and Bethany and I.
Okay.
Yes. And I know Xana and Maddie because they were in pop. And then I met Kaylee just because she's there with me.
And then there's also,
She is, yeah.
and I apologize, Xana, Maddie, and Keely?
What about them?
Are all they all the same sorority?
Xana, Maddie, and Kaylee dropped the. So Xana and Maddie were both in, but they dropped. Kaylee was in, and she dropped. So they were all dropouts. They weren't in a sorority.
Okay.
Or they aren't anymore.
Okay, for somebody who doesn't understand the whole sorority fraternity world, why would you drop out?
Money issues or just not liking, like the girls telling you what to do all the time. I guess that's their kind of issue, I think it was.
That's what I wonder.
There's girls in the house that are like a part of leadership, and so they'll be like the executive board, kind of just telling you what to do, and they probably didn't really like it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thought that was what college was about, was not having to be bossed around.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. But you were still on,
I am.
okay.
I'm
And is,
kiss. Yes.
and is,
Yes.
okay.
And
Why would somebody not live on, in this right or not live?
you can get granted live out if you're a sophomore or up.
Okay,
For Beth, it was just like money issues, and she just wanted her own space, and same with Dylan.
okay,
And Maddie is like sorority big, and so it was like perfect for Beth to like move in. into her house.
Maddie was,
Yeah.
got it. So what year were Xana, Maddie, and Kaylee? What year of school?
Xana's a year above me. She was a junior. And I believe Kaylee was a senior, and I know Maddie was a senior. I know for sure Maddie was a senior. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure Kaylee was a senior too.
So Maddie.
She was saying they dropped out of the sorority. He asked why, and she said either money issues or just not liking it anymore.
Was senior, so is
Bethany's a sophomore, and so is
okay. Okay. So is there anything that's been going weird with people talking, people showing up?
at the house, like the house.
At all. Yeah.
I mean, I know that Kaylee, like a month ago, like saw like a dark figure staring at her in the woods when she took her dog Murphy out to go pee, and like I don't know, their apartment's always giving me like bad vibes, and we always we didn't joke about there being like a stalker, but we were like, seriously, like there's been countless times that we've been like just scared because like we hear things or.
And that's just at the house itself?
No, that's the house on Kings Road.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kaylee was upstairs. But she's on the third floor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you said that was about a month ago that she said that something weird.
I believe it was like a month ago, yeah.
Okay. Nothing else as far as text messages, social media, nothing that's
No, nothing.
the girls. Any problems between the sisters?
That live at the house or just
in general.
No, not at the apartment, no. They're all like best friends. Same with, there's no real big problem.
Maybe stole somebody's boyfriend or ate somebody's cookies or.
I mean, probably, but can't think of anything at the moment.
Fair enough.
Nothing major.
Okay. Anything else you can think of that I should need to know? Just weird, out of place.
I mean, I was curious of how the person got in, but then, I mean, sometimes their door doesn't lock all the way. They have a code to get in. Sometimes I just open it and it opens.
Okay. Did you know the code to get in?
I do, yeah.
Is it something common for the friends to know?
I was supposed to move in at semester or next year, so I've just been like basically living there.
Okay.
So yeah, I just knew the code because I'm really close with them. And one of my other close friends knows it, but I don't know about anyone else. But yeah, sometimes I'll just go in. There's like a party happening, and it's just like unlocked.
Right.
So
Sure. That makes sense.
yeah.
It sounds like there's a door off of the. So you would go and move in.
Yeah.
In next month?
So I was trying to get a live out granted for this upcoming semester. Usually you can't do that, but I know I did that last year, so I was going to try to do that.
I'm with you.
But I was for sure going to move in next year.
With the, so there's the front door that's got the keypad.
Yeah.
The back door from the kitchen.
The sliding one?
Yeah. Does that usually locked or unlocked?
I've never really tried, but I know they're very cautious about that stuff, so they lock it.
Okay.
But I mean, a night out, I don't know if they would have,
When everybody coming back from a party?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if it's always locked, but
Okay.
they have their trash can out there to the side of the sliding glass door, so maybe they just leave it unlocked because you just open it and throw it away. But I don't know about like the nighttime if they would have locked it or not.
You bet. Okay. Where's Murphy?
Where is he?
Yeah.
Well, I watched them take him out.
Okay.
I don't know where they.
That was more of a just piecing everything together and
Yeah, Murphy.
crap the dog somewhere.
Yeah, he's somewhere.
Okay. All right. Anything else you can think of?
I don't think so.
Okay. usually when you had a traumatic experience, even if you're not there, I mean, you know these people, this is going to hit you hard. You might think of something later on down the road. It'll pop up when you're looking at a Happy Meal or French fries or something where you're just way it.
Yeah.
Don't hesitate to call us and just ask.
Okay.
You guys also have the CTC on campus, right? The Crisis Trauma Center, or what it is. I think that's what are. Highly recommend you reach out to them, even if it's just to get the number and have it. This is not normal. This is not something that normal people should have to go through. So I would say reach out even when you don't think you need it, because that will help stem some of the things that might happen, the sleeplessness, you can get upset stomach, you can get all of that kind of stuff, and it's just not worth it.
Right.
So don't try to power through things. I guess is my point. The cop I've seen really bad things, and I've tried to be the macho guy, and it doesn't work. So ask for help before you think you need it. Anybody out there that's still needs to be interviewed that you think that needs to be talked to sooner than later?
More people that I know needs to be.
Okay.
I don't know if it's been, he might have just walked by.
Okay.
I don't know if it's been interviewed.
Well, what I'll do is we'll go back out and you can point, because it's going to be just saying, hey, who's...
Yeah, I'll ask who hasn't yet, because I just don't know.
Hey, so number 23,
yeah.
I don't want to do that to anybody.
All right, that's it. First, I want to say the hoods. They're in a building. They're talking to officers. Be respectful. It is. Maybe I'm just too old for this, like, young people stuff. But take your hood off. Sit up. Enunciate your words so people can hear you and understand you. Like, come on, time to grow up, guys. First, that bothers me. Yeah, she did say she saw the officers take Murphy out of the house that afternoon after the police had been called. Yes, she saw that. My question is, when Jenna, well, I'll start back a little further. We know that Jenna was contacted by Bethany. They're friends. Jenna was contacted by Bethany, and Jenna said, do you want me to come pick you guys up? And Bethany said, yes, actually, I do. Yes, come pick us up. That tells you right there that just like last time, the week prior, that Bethany heard something outside of her window, and she said it didn't sound like something bad. It sounded like a prank, but she was still too scared to stay in her room, so she called somebody to come pick her up. I think that she was going to leave. I think maybe even Dylan was going to leave. And Jenna had no problem removing people from a crime scene, which would be, I mean, had they been questioned and maybe even charged with something, like they probably should have been, the roommates that is, had Jenna removed them from the crime scene, she's now an accomplice. So she had no problem doing that or being that, right? Well, the police pulled up before she got there, so they couldn't leave then. But I think they had all intentions of leaving. But didn't Bethany walk to her car at some point? Is it possible that maybe they put something in the car, in her car, to take it away? Since they couldn't leave, they couldn't get out of there. What's crazy is they knew what happened. They saw what happened. They heard what happened, and they had no problem leaving that house or attempting to leave that house. Had the police not pulled up when they did, they would have been gone. I wonder if someone inside is helping them. Interesting. Rugs? Maybe. I think it's something. Yep. Nunez pulled up before Jenna got there. So Jenna came after, and that was the whole problem. Had Jenna come before Nunez arrived, I think they would have left. I think they would have taken things with them and left. Which is weird. So you're going to leave Hunter, Josie, Lyndon, Emily, you're just going to leave them to deal with it? How selfish. How selfish. They could have left. The cops didn't know they were there. Jenna was there to take evidence. Surely they could have left. I think they probably thought, now that the police are here, we can't. Like, we can't get out of this now. Police are already here. Absolutely. The amount of money you have equals your justice. Whatever you can afford, that's the level of justice you get. And that's crazy. It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. Jenna came before Nunez? Oh my gosh, I'll have to go back and look. I thought we saw Jenna pull up on Nunez's body cam. Or maybe I'm just thinking of her car. Well, well, well. Wasn't there a question on whose phone actually called 911? I think it's in the reports whose phone actually dialed 911. I'm pretty sure it was Bethany's phone. Was it Bethany's phone? Gosh, I'm confused today. Overthinking things. I know. I know it. I'm so curious what the exculpatory evidence is, because we never did get to really find out. Did she? Okay. I believe you. I totally believe you. I'm just sitting here thinking, like, why do I feel like I remember seeing Jenna park on Nuna's body cam? I very much could be wrong and just remembering it wrong. I do remember seeing her car. Maybe that's just what it is. I'm so curious if they put something in her car now before officers arrived. What was shoved in her car? What was thrown in her car? What was gathered up hastily and thrown in her car? And then where did it go? I'm sure they put something in there. I'm sure they did. Oh, okay. That's what it is. She was in front. He came up behind. She moved over and did a U-turn. Oh, and did a turnaround and followed okay, that's what it is then. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Right. They still had Bethany's phone. They weren't leaving. I think Jenna had intentions of trying to get them out of there, like help and thinking she's helping and get them out of there. Or maybe it's just that, she's so very into, like murdery type things that, she had to insert herself in there and try and get them out of there, or at least get Bethany out, but it didn't really work that way. So I think that Jenna, seemingly being into murdery type things, that she was like, you need to get rid of anything, throw it in my car. I could see her being like that. Now I want to go through some of Jenna's pictures. Conspiraling sent me a couple pictures, and had my interest peaked in the VCSO pictures for Jenna. So I'd like to take a look at those because some of them are interesting. Here we go. So this is Jenna McClure. The first thing I noticed is that her weight fluctuates like big time. Big time fluctuates, which isn't a big deal. Mine used to as well. But it's just something I noticed because in some pictures it looks like her and in some pictures it doesn't look like her. This picture is interesting. I don't know if I can zoom in at all. Oops. Hey, go away. Just so you know, this person right here is Dylan, which is strange to me. I know she has her leg bent. I don't know if she's squatting down, but where her head is at, she looks like the similar height as everybody else. Here is Jenna and Bethany. Here's Bethany. Here is Bethany. Bethany. I don't know if these other people are just really short or if Bethany's much taller than I expected her to be. We're just live digging into some pictures. Bethany is in a lot of these photos. A lot. Here's Bethany. I'm just gonna, oh. This was August. Dang nabbit. Here is Bethany. This is such a cool picture with the castle looking thing. This looks like a shirt I have. Here they are in front of the Idaho water tower. Graduation. Party, party. Party, party, party. Corner club picture. Corner club picture. Lots of game days. There's a picture of the Vandals thing. Silo looking thing. Here's Bethany. Here's Dylan. She has an odd-shaped head. Bethany. Oh, look at the puppy. Pi Beta Phi. Look, there's Xana. So this picture here with Maddie and Dylan and Jenna. Jenna posted this picture at 4. What time was it? Oh, not that picture. Not that one. There's another one. This creeps me out. That's a view from Dylan's room. This one. It's a view from Dylan's room, and it just looks so freaking creepy to me. This one all the way to the right with the playing cards. It looks like there's like a jack on top, or a queen or a king or something like that. Obviously we know King Queen Road was this part. I don't know how to get out of these. This picture was 454. This one. You know, similar to the one that Dylan posted at 3:33. Well, Jenna posted almost an identical picture in the same exact spot on November 13th at 4:54 in the morning. So just an hour and 20 minutes after Dylan did. Very strange. Here's Dylan. I don't know. Is this at the Whites? We've got Xana and Maddie here. This one here is out back, and Conspiraling was like, doesn't it look weird without the blood running out of the house? I'm like, it does. It almost makes it look naked. We're so used to seeing in every picture the blood dripping outside the house, but now it looks weird when it's not there. Here's Xana. August 27th. You know, for spending so much time with these people and in the house, it's just astonishing to me how she could just sit in that interview and, like, you could tell she didn't want to be there. You could tell she really didn't. It's almost like she didn't give a crap. It's so strange. Here's the Whites, right? Here's the Whites. Bethany, Dylan, Jenna. Bethany, Jenna. Who cares? Is this Yessie? Bethany, 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 Bethany. Here's another one in front of the Good Vibes. This one I find strange as well. says 222 Nightmare. 222 Nightmare. When was it posted? 9:34, January 1st. Huh. Why does this picture look so old? It looks old, like it's from, I don't know. It looks like it's from one of the disposable cameras that they got developed. One. She has a lot of weird pictures like this with numerology. We just saw one posted that said 222. Now we've got one that says 111. Look, this one, 1111. I have to be honest though. Anytime the clock says 1111, I make a wish. I don't know why. Doc Martens, Converse, Nike. I thought that was Gabby Petito for a second. There is a picture in here. Here it is. I know it's hard to see because it's kind of back further, but this sticker on the phone says something about eye contact. And then if you look at this sticker under her fingers right here, it's the exact same picture that Dylan has a drawing of. Dylan drew it and put it on her corkboard. And I believe Dylan took this picture of Jenna McClure and was drawing out the picture of the eyes underneath her fingers on her cell phone, because in one of the picture that Dylan is drawing, it's missing an eye. And I think it's because she couldn't see it because it's under Jenna's finger. Why is Dylan taking a picture of Jenna McClure's and drawing it out, but just the eyes? It seems as if Jenna is just as obsessed with eyes and eyebrows as Dylan is. It's pretty strange. Pretty strange. Yes, it's very strange. Also, right behind her on this wall, it says killing it. I'm sure it's supposed to be a play on like, ooh, I'm killing it, I look good, or I'm doing good, or whatever. But with them, I just don't think that's what it means. I think it literally means killing it. They're very strange with their eyeballs and eyebrows. Very strange. Very, very strange. Isn't there... Now, these are the ones that Jenna reposted of other people's. I miss you, but heaven is so lucky to have you. She reposted this photo of Josie and Dylan from Josie's page. And it's of them at the Whites, and the date is November 12th, 7:48 p.m. Last home game, it says. But wait a second. How are they at the Whites at 7:48? I know that it could also just be that it was just posted at that time, but it could also be that they were there at that time. Very, very interesting, huh? Very interesting. There's Bethany. Oh yeah, that was Yessie's. Here's also a photo that says, when you focus on the good gets better. But it's the fact that it's repeated over and over and over and over again reminds me of Dylan's journal, where they just repeat the same things over and over again. It does remind me of something like witchy and manifesting stuff and just weird, repetitive. And then there's this one. And it's a repost on August 2022, August 5th, 2022. She obviously follows somebody with the name 999 Princess 666. And this is a picture of the devil shoving a very large knife into the top of someone's head, and it comes out their chin, under their chin. The saying says, God darn it. Go away. It says, Lucifer telling me that I better be in reverie. Lucifer begging me to return home. Travel the 7 seas, Ruby the cherry, been burying memories, cherishing dead enemies, never returning the throne. Please leave me the F alone. F a hoe, plug up her soul. Find a puddle, grab a shovel. Let's keep digging deep holes. If that isn't weird, creepy, disgusting, scary. Yeah, it's pretty dark. It's pretty dark. And it's just 3 months before. Here's another one that's like a devil looking photo, but part of his face is switched around. It's very odd. Repost of Yessie. This one says trust in timing. Is Bethany, Rihanna, and ASAP Rocky. That double one is creepy. Bethany. They spent a lot of time. Yessie and Jenna spent a lot of time with Bethany. You haven't yet met all the people you will love. She follows a page that's called F Bitches Get Money. Focus on yourself. Ella. It says Ella on the window. It's got to be Bethany because the shoes. It's really bright. It's really bright. Aw, kitty cat. Oh my gosh, this is like my favorite skit ever. Live in a van down by the river. So funny. The Road to Paradise Island. Edward Scissorhands. Huh. McLovin. Hey, she likes good movies, I guess. 1,000 moments that I had just taken for granted, mostly because I had assumed that there would be 1,000 more. I'm free February 14th if you want to hang out. February 14th, I'm not doing anything. February 14th, just let me know about February 14th. Apparently, she likes Valentine's Day. Don't tell someone you love them and then vote for someone who will hurt them. The most beautiful people wear their hearts on their sleeves and their souls in their smiles. Seasonal depression. Check in on the ones you love. Never stop showing someone how much they mean to you. Not gonna lie, I don't want to do this. Oh crap, my mask is really a thing. Oh crap, my mask is really a thing. Do you wear masks or what? Interesting. The right boy will love you for you and not your body. And most guys, honestly, don't even care about your body. You just have to be confident in your own skin. And you just have to own what you have. Fake it till you make it. I think your body is so beautiful, and I really don't understand why you can't see that. I think you are so skinny, but not in an unhealthy way. I just want you to not worry about food so much and comparing yourself to other girls. It is controlling your life. Think about how much happier you would be if you just lived. Literally, just live, love, and embrace your body for what it is. If you stop eating, I promise you that is only going to make things worse. Not eating is not going to make you more skinny. It's just going to ruin your metabolism. You have to eat. You are beautiful inside and out. Stop comparing yourself to other people. Love you for you and just live. Live without worrying. Live without fear. You will be so much happier once you stop thinking about everything so much. You will start to realize that your body is actually amazing, and so are you. I think it's safe to say that Jenna probably struggles with her eating behavior, which is interesting because I equate that similar to with Kaylee's scars on her arms. F everyone who makes you feel like you aren't good enough. Here's an eyebrow picture. The most beautiful art is looking into someone's eyes when they talk about the things they love. I think that's about it. There's not a whole lot. It's like silly little girl stuff. The further back we go. Yeah, that's about it for that. And now, I'm not sure what's going to happen with the FOIAs, but I do want to show you where I'm at with mine, just so we can be transparent. This is kind of ridiculous, too. Pretty ridiculous. Pretty ridiculous. The blue are all my open ones. Can I make this bigger? A little bit. This top one is ISP report 178. There was a bunch of interviews mentioned in there, and I want them. This one is ISP report 177. There are a bunch of interviews in there, and I want them. Wait, what was this one? there was a handwritten letter that was sent to a fraternity as well, not just a sorority. There was one that a frat member had as well. I want that letter. This one is hold on. This is report 171. This woman was talking to a stranger outside of her business, and basically he claimed, or she thought he was kind of trying to claim these murders, or along those lines. I don't know if you remember it, but if you think of it, go look at report 171 from ISP. I want all the information on this. I want the phone interview. She's stating there's a guy that hangs out outside of her business, and he's giving all the information on these girls. And then I read all the other ones. Those are just the new ones, but I have a lot that are open. It's crazy because I started at why won't it show it? Number 18. Number 18. And now we're all the way at 582. But I have a good 20 or better in here. Why did they close this one? What the heck? Oh, okay. Well, here's some good information, you guys. I sent this FOIA in. It says, this request is for an interview regarding blah, blah, blah. The co-owner of 1122, Scott Perky, was interviewed by Officer James Fry. In this interview, Perky was speaking of a young male between the ages of 18 and 25 named Gabe M. I want this interview. And they said it doesn't exist. So they never even interviewed this Gabe person that Scott Perky was talking about. You know, the Gabe person from the restaurant that called them lesbians and then left, that said he was inside their home waiting for them to come home. That was Gabe Miller. Yeah. Yep. They said an interview with him does not exist, so they closed my request. So this kid claimed that says he's got large knives. He literally said he was inside their home when they were not there. He literally said out of his mouth, I could have killed them all if I wanted to, and they didn't interview him. Wow. Wow. Unbelievable. It shouldn't even be unbelievable anymore. It's, oh my God. That's insane. Why would you not interview that person? That just, grosses me out. So disgusting. Oh, wrong one. Whoop, wrong one. All right, guys, we're going to share our Bronx's buddy of the day. Today we have, this is Lucy on the right, and this is Chicken. And Lucy looks like Lucy might eat or lick chicken. We're not sure. This is Bronx's buddy of the day. Thank you, Lisa, for sending in your baby. It is this time, Bronx's buddy of the day time. Woo, woo, woo. Thank you for sending in your babies. I just think it is so cute that there's a whole chicken as a pet. I love it. Absolutely love it. I think it's great that this little puppy dog named Lucy can hang out with a chicken without eating it, because Bronx could never. There was a deceased squirrel at the PARK today, and Bronx would not leave it alone. He didn't pick it up, but he just wanted to be next to it. He's obsessed with squaws. The squillies. The squillies. Thank you, Lisa, for sending in your babies, Lucy and Chicken. We appreciate it so much. And if you want me to share or show off your babies, go ahead and email them to me, bronxtalestruecrime@gmail.com. And now, for your starting lineup. Whoops. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody who showed up today. We appreciate you. We will see you again on Hump Day, Hump Day, Hump Day. Oh, I don't have it on the computer yet. It's still on my phone. We could share it on Wednesday. Conspiraling also, just so you know, she made a bunch of Bronx emojis, so we can add them to the channel, and you guys can respond with our very own emojis for just this channel. So I got to get those added. I just got to get them off my phone and onto the computer. So they should be there shortly. I'm hoping to get them on there this week sometime. I've just been really busy with work. So, all right, guys, thanks for being here. We'll see you on Wednesday. Thank you to the mods. I appreciate all of you guys so very much. Do something nice for yourself. Be kind, but more importantly, be kind to your animals, please. And now,
is she breathing? Hello? Is she breathing? No.
Who let the dogs out? Bronx on the block, he don't bark for clout. Cold nose sharp eye, he follow the trail. Every missing piece got a name in the mail. Bronx kale rolling camera in the night. One paw on the clue, one paw on the fight. IDAHO4 in the fog, whole town too quiet. Corrupt handshake when the truth start writing. Low growl in the door, he don't miss them all. I read the signs he leave, then I move like a thief. Who let the dogs out? Bron let the truth out. Ooh, who let the dogs out? Bronx tails, we pressed around. IDAHO4, we won't back down. Bronx on the scene, run that ground. Who let the dogs out? Bron let the truth out. Ooh, no bad shine, just a hard stare. Street by street, he was already there. All white clues in a busted up case. Rumors get loud, but they don't hold weight. I keep it real for the ones still hurt. Turn the fake talk into witness work. Every dirty secret gotta loosen now. And Bronx bites down when the lies act proud. Low growl in the door, he don't miss them all. I read the signs he leave, then I move like a thief. Who let the dogs out? Bron let the truth out. Who let the dogs out? Bronx tails we pressed around. IDAHO4, we won't back down. Bronx on the scent, run that ground. Who let the dogs out? Bronx let the truth out. No sleep, no peace, just a restless run. Under that moon, what's done is done. Bronx in the alley, I'm close behind. One last turn and we expose the lie. Who let the dogs out? Bronx let the truth out. Who let the dogs out? Bronx tails we pressed around. IDAHO4, we won't back down. Bronx on the scent, run that ground. Who let the dogs out? Bronx let the truth out.